And namaste, you beautiful people. How are you out there today? I hope all is well with you. It has been quite a morning around here with all these energies. I'm sure you can feel it too. It has been a morning of moving and grooving around here and quite chaotic. So, what I would like to do is start with an Ave Saw breath and welcome everybody into the show and into the chat. And with an Ave Saw breath, it brings us all together and we are co-creating. So for those of you who are unfamiliar with Ave Saw breath, I would like to just give you a little bit of an explanation. Ave on the inhale is like Ave Maria. It means hail. Hail to the divine, hail to the universe, hail to love and light, hail to yourself, the divine spark inside of you. And then the saw is like a release to the moment. So let's do 3 Ave Saw breaths together. On the inhale, Ave Saw. Ave Saw. One more. Ave Saw. Now that's better. Welcome, welcome, welcome to Awakenings Moments to Inspire. I hope that you are all doing well this morning. My name is Angela, and I'd like to welcome you to the show. I'm not in my usual sanctuary today, as you could probably see. It would happen that we have a bit of a rainstorm here in Ontario at the moment, and my office, which is actually a pop-up trailer, would sound like a beating drum inside if I were to try and do the live stream there. So I thought it would be better would come and just do it in the house. Also, just a little bit of caveat here just before we begin. My dog, Penelope, is a Newfoundland dog, and she is currently getting to have puppies. And as much as we tried to have her nest anywhere else, she's decided to do it in my inside office, which is just the room next door. So you might hear her every now and then, and I do apologize beforehand. But it is a day of birthing and creating around here, let me tell you. So I hope you're inspired and ready to get going. And okay. So the topic for today, I don't have any guests, but I was thinking all week, what can our topic for today be? What can we be discussing? And with all of the things that are going on in the world, the stuff that is happening not only in our daily lives, but in the broader world as well, it's hard to find inspiration. It's hard to get ourselves up and motivated and doing things that we that moves us, that not only moves us physically and getting that heart pumping and getting it moving and shaking, but also the things that move us spiritually, that move our hearts. Namaste, Jess. So happy that you're here. So we want to include things. We want to be inspired, yes, to move our bodies. Certainly, we all need to be exercising. We all need to be with the energies right now. All of the amount of exercising that you can do to get your bodies moving and adjusting to the new life and the new things that are happening, the better. So I highly recommend action, physical action, whatever inspires you to do some kind of physical action, even if it's twirling in the kitchen, or which is my favorite thing to do, or if it's going for a walk, or a yoga class, or qigong. My mother has found qigong and absolutely loves it. I highly recommend for anybody who's looking for an easy, gentle movement exercise, please look up qigong. So we are inspired to move our bodies, but what we need is inspiration for our hearts. I think that seems to be what's lacking right now in our, not only our day-to-day living, but the day-to-day living of the entire world. So it's not just looking for inspiration for ourselves, but inspiration outside of ourselves and how we can use the things around us, even if they look slightly less than inspiring. I was going to show you how you can turn that around and see things from slightly different perspectives, so that you can look at things that you would never think would be inspiring. Now, most of us in the spiritual community understand what synchronicities are. It means when we're in our flow, we see things. We understand that number sequences, or um, uh, you were thinking of somebody and then all of a sudden they called, or oh, you just all know these sequences. You were talking about robins and all of a sudden, or a bunch of crows and all of a sudden four of them fly overhead. Those kind of synchronicities, that lets us know that we're in our flow. I like to use that as a source. And wow, okay, so when you look at your synchronicities as a source of inspiration, then you're kind of more in the moment, aware, and you're waiting for them, you're looking for them, and that gets you jazzed up. And when you get jazzed up, inspired even more to keep going in your flow, the synchronicities show up even more. So that's a simple, basic example of what can be inspiring for some, at least on a spiritual journey or on a spiritual level. But there's more than just synchronicities. There's things that inspire us every day. Heroes in society. There's our own personal heroes, our moms, our dads, that beautiful grandparent or their teacher that helped us when we were in third grade. We all have our own little inspiring people in our lives that help us move through those difficult times. But we also have those grand athletes, movie stars that we like to think of as inspiration, but that's for me, it seems more of a 3D level. Um, we want to be inspired from, yes, to go out and create and be as creative as these people, but create for yourself. So take their lives and what they've created, and instead of mimicking it, take that energy that and their tools that they've given you, if you've followed their careers or anything like that, and make it your own. Take it and make it your own. Don't mimic anything. Be yourself, be creative, and find your own inspirations. um I know rising up in the morning right now tends to be very difficult, and I think if we can just lift each other up, if you can go out in the day and um, another inspiration I like to do, things that I like to do to inspire myself and to inspire others as well, is to help somebody out during the day, even if it's paying for the guy in front of you for their coffee, or telling someone that you like their skirt, or that can be very uplifting for yourself. It can inspire you to go out and even do more nice things and more good deeds. But then that energy that you have now played into the world is going to magnify, because now that person that you've said all those glorious and wonderful nice things to are very likely going to go out and say, compliment somebody else and compliment somebody else. So you're inspiring this wave of kindness, this wave of love, just simply by smiling and being nice and complimenting somebody first thing in the morning or anytime during the day. Just a simple compliment inspires so much. These are just small, simple things that we can do every day to help ourselves raise our energy and put ourselves into a better mood or into a better place, because there's so much out there that wants to try and bring us down and to lower our energy levels and to be to take our creativity and to take our energy. And I want to show you today how 11:11 on the synchronicities. There we go, people. 11:11. my time frame, it's 11:11 at the moment. There's my synchronicity. Keep going, Angela. Inspiration. But those kind of things are fairly easy, or what people might say are easy to do. But how do you go and you look? I don't recommend keeping your eyes on the news all day long. If you feel like you have to stay informed, please do so. But try to live your life and be in flow with your own connections, rather than getting yourself wound up in the other co-creation that's going on in the world. We can offset that co-creation by finding the inspiration that I'm about to talk about here today. Inspiration in the most unlikeliest places, such as war, famine, things that are going on right now in the world and seem to be in everyone's faces. It can be a little unnerving. And again, that's where I would highly recommend you stop and pause if you do come into any kind of contact with things that make you uneasy or shift you out of that energy. Pause and relax into the moment that's being offered to you, so that you can gather yourself and move forward. So, finding inspiration in the oddest of places. I think how we should start this. I was trying to work out how we can discuss this, but I'm just going to give a small little back portion for those who are not following the yoga of self-ascension. They might not quite understand where this level of inspiration can be coming from, and they might see it more from a dark angle. So what I would rather do is just briefly explain and move forward from there. So let's do it. So most of us in the spiritual world, and those of us, just in the spiritual world, we tend to feel that, or we understand and we know that at a level to ourselves, that spirituality and that our souls don't really die. That we're coming here to this place, to this planet, as a place of exploration, a place of learning, a place of experience. We can feel our bodies, we can touch things, we can move things, we know what the taste of ice tastes like, and we understand what the fur of newborn puppy feels like. And so that's why 3D is so wonderful, and that's why we're all scrambling over one another to try and get here. So again, on a spiritual level, there are many different dimensions of reality, and there are many different levels of existence. So this 3D reality is just one of them. And hello, welcome. So this 3D reality is just one of them. And this is, many in the spiritual community would call this a bodysuit, or I've even heard it referred to as a meat suit. But it's something that we use, a tool that we use to experience the 3D reality. So we are of the understanding that we go on, that we exist. Once we die, we can move on to a higher existence where we're able to understand things at a much higher level of consciousness than we currently have in this existence. So if we don't die, I'm just going to quickly look at my notes to make sure I've got these all straightened out. So coming from that perspective, if we live forever to experience life over and over again, and understand that that we get to go on. We don't necessarily have to see death or be afraid of death the way the more mainstream looks at it. And I find this immensely uplifting, and knowing that you can't get it right because you get to do it again. And we all learn from our mistakes, even in the regular 3D life. That's how we learn, is from our mistakes. So when you go up into the higher dimensions, we're learning, we're experiencing life. They're experiencing us watching, and we're experiencing 3D. It's a great level. I don't know if I'm making any sense. But so if we're all in this together, and if nobody really dies, and we're just here to experience what we're coming to experience, if we're here to learn and experience reality, then we can't really blame anyone else around us, especially if we have chosen to come incarnate in this life, which is something that many spiritual traditions believe, that we come here to, and that we can choose, choose who our parents are, reincarnate, what type of body we were going to reincarnate. And that's because we have a goal. Just because we have a goal in 3D doesn't mean we don't have a goal in 5D, 7D, 9D. We have goals that we want to meet in our existence, and that we're going through these progressions to learn and experience and love and move through all that there is. So if you can't die, and we choose where we come, then you most certainly can't anyone in your life, because you came here with a set goal, plan to learn certain things. Some of us are aware of that, and then some are not. And for those of us who are on some levels, maybe perhaps that what's got us all nervous and anxious is that we don't understand that you can go beyond that 3D level, that you can experience life looking at things from a higher perspective and being able to get inspiration from a higher perspective, rather than being so caught up in the fear and the anxiety of the 3D. We just need to lift a little. That's all. Namaste, Bhatya. Namaste, everyone. I'm so happy to see you today. I would love to hear what inspires you guys in the chat too. What kind of things do you like to do on a daily basis that inspires you? What kind of things do you like to do to help inspire other people? Talk to each other, talk amongst each other. That's what inspires each other. So, how I'd like to, when I look around the world today, I like to, when I see things from a 3D perspective, I see things from a place, I can see things from a place of fear and anxiety. But then, just what I did there. You can take your Ave Sa breath, you can take your moment, pause, and really see what is going on in front of you and around you. So when we look around, we see a lot of violence and a lot of problems in the world. And what we want to do is change how we see things and how we look at things. And when I say it's happening, I think about how much fear and shame and guilt that people are holding inside themselves, that can be destructive, and that's what's causing all of the problems that are going on. And that if we can lift above that, we can see that they're on their journey, just like you're on your journey. You came here to learn your things, to do your things. Are we doing that? Are you doing that? Are you committed to yourself? And are you doing what you want, came here to do? Or scared, fear, or are you finding inspired action that moves your heart? Inspiration again. Maybe finding it in a place of sorrow, or from a place of sorrow might be able to change your perspective a little bit. So, if we can pull a little higher than just the level of 3D, if we can just lift up a level, like I was suggesting, and look at it from the point where these people are on their own journey, that they are here because they've chosen to come here, that they have chosen to be going through these steps and these journeys, so that they, when it is over, onto the next step or the next lifetime, they have learned what they needed to learn here. And to interfere with another person's journey would be horrible, and I wouldn't want anyone else to interfere with mine. And so I look at negative things that I see around me as these people are on their journey, and that I have compassion for them, because they're doing it. They're doing what they came here to do. And I'm not going to interfere with that. And I honor that and I respect that. And then I can lift a little higher, and I can see that the higher self. And you can see, when I say the higher self, the one that's not in the 3D suit, the one that knows and that is higher above, and that is in the realm of knowing and understanding and pure love and unconditional love. The higher self, you if you stand back and look and see their higher self, you can see how they set up their journey, how they're learning their experience, how they're here, and you lose your judgment. You gain compassion, you lose judgment. Two very important things in spirituality, but also in inspiration. I don't think you can't have judgment and be inspired, unless you're judging it as something good and something happy and that gets you going. But for me, judgment is something that's a little bit more on the negative level. But you can't be in that negative judgment, and you can't be in that place of fear and guilt. To be in a place of compassion, to be able to kind of see your higher self and their higher self, and know and understand that they're on their journeys, and you don't need to interfere with that, and you don't need to step into it. You can take a hold and be inspired by their journey and moving through the hardships that they're moving through, and seeing what they're moving through, and you move through your own. You can use that, take that, and know that they're fine, just as you're fine. You don't need to agree with everyone's path, but you need to kind of honor it. And that's where I'm saying, if you can we can all live from a higher vibration. And if we can get up in the morning and look at the news and see what's going on and say, okay, I get it, I understand that it's not part of who I am. I'm going to honor their journey. I'm going to respect their journey. And I'm going to use that love and compassion as a propellant of my own. I'm going to use that and say, they're off doing their journey. They're off doing what they need to do, even if it's good, bad, whatever the case that you might be judging at the moment in 3D. They're off doing their journey. You can be off doing yours. And use that as inspiration. As hard and as horrible as things are that go on around us, we don't need to see things from that angle, is what I'm trying to say. We can see things from a completely different perspective, where we can take that, something that is vile and negative on a 3D level, and take that energy and lift it, just even by doing so in our own hearts. It's easy to hide in the world. It's easy to close yourself off. Many of us have done that for a very, very, very long time. We get scared, we're frightened, and we don't know what to do, and we don't see inspiration around us as much as we would like to. But there is everywhere. There is not a good thing or a bad thing. It's just a thing. It's not a good event or a bad event. It's just an event. We're all in the sandbox of Gaia together. Think about little kids when they were in a sandbox. We don't have to all agree with each other. Some boys like to play with trucks. Some boys like to play with dolls. Some girls like to play with the boys with the trucks, and some girls like to play with the boys with the dolls. Everybody has their own place in the world, and kids figure that out. It's when we get older that we see things as positive and negative. Kids just see it as kids. There's not good, there's not bad, unless we teach them those things. And I would like to teach my children that you can find inspiration anywhere. You can see it in the eyes of a baby. You can see it in the eyes of an old woman who's on her deathbed. You can see the joy of life and inspiration everywhere you look. You just have to want to. And I think maybe that's part of it as well, is you have to want to. You have to be able to release your victimhood. You have to be able to say, again, going back, if there's nobody to blame, how can we be a victim any longer? If we come here to be ourselves on a level that we have never been before, and we've come here to experience this like we have never done before, lost my train of thought there. We can just be the inspiration and look at life that way, as opposed to so negative the way we've been doing it. When I see people living out their lives, I don't see it from a 3D perspective or a 5D perspective or a 7, or I just try and see who they are and honor their journey and say, okay, look at them. Look at how they're moving through life. Look at the joys that they're bringing forward. Or look at the challenges they have. Look at what is happening and what they're bringing forward. There is glorious life all around us, and we just need to look for it a little bit more, in some very different places than we would normally. So, Awakenings Inspire Moments of Inspiration is about stories that help inspire. I don't know if I've inspired you all today or not. Coming out and doing these shows and being with you as an audience is an inspiration for me. Going out into the world, and becoming a ballet dancer might be inspiration for somebody else. Selling Royal Dalton pictures might be inspiration for somebody else. Which, by the way, B, that Royal Dalton picture that you had up was an absolutely gorgeous piece. Is an auctioneer, so if anybody needs some beautiful Royal Dalton wear, I'm pretty sure she's some available. And it's my grandmother got collected Royal Dalton. She used to just tell me all these beautiful stories about how that was what the women in her time, they really kind of coveted. And it was just absolutely adorable to talk about how they would kind of get around and gaggle like little gooses in the kitchen whenever a new lady bought a new piece, and they'd all come over and take a look. It was quite cute. Anyway, then we can create, I'm just going to go. What inspires you? I'd like to hear. Anybody got any suggestions in the chat? The world is full of fear right now. And if we can take that fear energy and look at it and see it and understand it for what it truly is, then we can help lift it, even just within our own hearts. If we don't have to be afraid of it anymore, if we can see it as beauty and love and inspiration, then we can change the world a little bit at a time, 1% at a time, even if it's just our own hearts and the hearts of our families around us. Car service, is that what inspires you, B? B's car service? B has got a beautiful car service. Actually, B is going to be a guest coming up on the 5th for this show. I'm very excited. Donna is also going to be my guest next week and the week after. So I'm going to have guests coming up, and it's going to be great. Both these women are absolutely beautiful, and I absolutely look forward to these and talking with them. I'm actually looking forward to talking with them both on a personal level, even before the interview. So this is going to, these women are the women that have inspired me for the last year. These are two of the women who have inspired me to keep going and to know that we've got this, right, B? We've got this. And Jess Juntanen and Shri and Kira, all of these beautiful, amazing people are what inspire me. Kim, Lynn, Gary, all of these beautiful people who I've met through this community and through Oneness Talk Radio and chatting with them during other shows and getting to know their stories and understand where they're coming from. We talk with each other and we understand each other, and it's beautiful to be in a community that you really connect and click with, and that speak your language. It's and the language is love. The language is unconditional love. And it has been a blessing to be part of this community that is out there right now doing amazing, amazing things with Tosa Blue Mountain, Avesa International, and Clinical Linda and the Indigenous projects. There's so many beautiful, beautiful things that this community is doing moving forward. And if anyone out there can help contribute even more to Clinical Linda, to the Indigenous product, to the water bearers, I would highly recommend you do so, because these are people that are doing amazing, amazing work to help ease the pain and suffering of people around the world soon. It's going to be amazing, amazing, amazing. Please tune in if you want to learn more about that. Tune in to Shri and Kira on Sundays and Jess Jintanen on Tuesdays at noon. I think both of them are at noon. So please tune there, and you'll be even more inspired. These are people who have inspired me to do so much more with my life that I thought I could do. When you look at the news, when you look at the world and you see the despair, and that's why I'm saying, if you can rise up through it. I think it's Kira who says, rise up like through the muck like a lotus leaf. She likes to say that a lot. And just be the lotus, rise up through it all and see that you can use that mud. You can use murky water, the things that you wouldn't think that be able to sustain life. You can use that as your inspiration and do great, amazing things and co-create great, amazing things. And I, just as I have done in this community, and I don't know what I would have done without them. So blessings to all of you. Thank you very much. I hope I'm going to have to end this episode a little early today. I do apologize. The reason being is I do have a dog that is currently in labor and I may have to stop here shortly and assist with that. So I do humbly apologize. It has been a bit of a chaotic morning for me. And I'll have to show you, I'll bring pictures next time of puppies so that you'll be able to see them all. But I'm going to take this new energy, this birthing energy that is being created in my house right in this very moment, and I'm going to expand it and use it and give it out to the world, to all of you people, so that you can use it to help inspire yourself when you get up in the morning. Look at the ceiling and say, I'm inspired, I'm thankful about A, B, C, D, and E. And if you can do that first thing in the morning and get yourself out of bed, then you are on the right track for a day of inspiration. So thank you so much. And until next time, I do apologize. Much love. Namaste.